Hello everybody, this video is going to be about RBXLuaJailer. So I'm going to be making it open source today. So I'm gonna show you how, first I'll show you an example of what it can do. So we're gonna go into this game I made called Virtual Blocks. And as you can see, it's a Studio 2016 emulator. But the cool thing is that you can actually write your own scripts, and you can't. And with this thing called RBXLuaJailer that I wrote, it makes it so that you can't access things that you don't want the user to be able to break the game with. It's a security wrapper. So like game get service marketplace service, or actually let's do like data store service. If we do that, well, first of all, I mean, this is okay. I'll tell you about what this is later, but let me show you. So whenever we try to run, as you can see, data store service is not a valid service name, even though it really is. But what happened is that I haven't actually added the data store service to the whitelist of the wrapper. And also another cool thing is that I've actually been able to emulate the core GUI of 2016 with this wrapper. It's not just a security wrapper; it can also basically mod the engine. It can mod the engine API. It can emulate modding the engine API. So I don't know why my my character's pants keep getting deleted and then restored for some reason. Whatever. Anyway, so I'll open up a little place on Studio and I'll show you how to use RBXLuaJailer. So here we are in this new place, and we've got RBXLuaJailer right here. So I'm gonna be honest, a lot of stuff in this is deprecated because I've been working on this for almost since last year. But anyway, really all we need to focus on is the module. So right here we got the I guess the welcome comment. Anyway, so what we're gonna focus on is how to just use it. So right here we've got create modules, or create module, and we've got the config, the name, the level, which is like the identity level, and then the permissions, the permissions are just basically just a table of just tags that you can give to a module so that it can identify what custom methods you want it to be able to use, and you can check them later. So I'll show you how to do that in a bit. But anyway, first, so you can technically just use it. It already has default stuff like default wrappers and stuff, but that's lame. So we're gonna make our own configuration. So if you look here in default, we've got aliases, wrappers, and environment. Those are the main things that are important. There's settings too, but and plugins, but I'll show you that later. But anyway, let's just make a folder, and then we're gonna name it config. Then we're gonna put in another folder, wrappers, and this is for the instance classes that you want to define. And then we've got, what else do we have? We've got aliases. And aliases, I called it kind of a weird thing, but basically it's just like replacements for globals that you want to wrap, like you want to make sure that you secure the globals too. this wrapper or this module heavily relies on the getFenv and setFenv, which like allows you to change the globals of a script. But anyway, then we have one more thing, which is environment. Okay, and we're just going to return a table. Now, let's make a script. So here we are in the script, and now we're just gonna do local RBXLuaJailer equals game get or require game get service script service, and you should put this in the replicated first of the replicated storage, but I put it there just for whatever. Yeah, I'll fix that later maybe. Move get okay. Find or wait for child RBXLuaJailer. So now we have the module loaded, but we have to create a module. So module wrapper equals RBXLuaJailer create module, and then config, we're gonna use the config we just used, so workspace dot config, then the name. Now there's a secondary feature here. You can do a name and then like a user ID so that you can like identify who's using it, but for now we're just gonna do basic config, and then the level we'll just put 2 because that's like the level for normal scripts, and then permissions, I guess we can just put like let's say I guess like Roblox script plugin. These are just examples, by the way. We're not going to use these. I'm just giving examples of something that you would put as a config or as a permission. So anyway, now we can do wrapper.execute print 1. Now this uses the VLua interpreter, but you can set your own interpreter too in the plugins module, and if you put it in your config. But I'll show you how to do that later. But anyway, if we hit play, you're gonna notice that it doesn't know it attempted to call a null value, and that's because we haven't defined the print global yet. We haven't defined the print global yet. So what we need to do is we go into the environment in the config, and we do print equals raw, and what that means is it will just grab the raw raw global from the environment. So and it won't do anything. So if we run now it prints 1. So that's how you use the default globals. But anyway, let's say that we want to actually do stuff with the data model. So let's make the workspace. So workspace equals, and then we're gonna type wrap. What that means is that it will use whatever's in the wrappers to wrap this global. But if we run, there's gonna be an error because we haven't defined it yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the wrappers, and we're going to put in a module, and we're gonna call it workspace. And we can let's just say like module dot properties equals name, and then like parent or something. Now these will automatically be wrapped, by the way. If you just use properties, if you just type properties and start naming properties, it will automatically wrap them whenever you access them. But not all properties, and well, actually, yeah, most properties, pretty much all properties are going to be safe. But whenever you're messing around with methods, sometimes you're going to have to make your own custom method so that it's actually secure. But we'll talk about that later. But anyway, now whenever I run, now it actually works. And now, if we want, we can do print workspace.name, and it prints workspace. Look at that. So, but let's say that we want to do something that I haven't defined yet. So, like, let's say workspace.className. Now it errors because class name is apparently not a member of workspace. That's how that works. Anyway, let's say that we want to create an instance. Well, what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to add a module to the aliases, and we're gonna call this instance. And what we're gonna do is let me actually hold on a second. Sorry, I'm back. I had to go use the bathroom. Anyway, we're gonna open this, and now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna return. Well, actually, no. We're gonna right. Okay, we're gonna return function, and in this function is going to be past the module, and the module is just the same thing that we have here, the wrapper module. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna return what we want this global to be. So let's say that we have, so normally in Roblox there's this global called instance, and you can do instance.new and make a part or something or whatever. Like you can make part, and then you can like do parent equals workspace. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna return a table.freeze, and what this does is this just makes it so you can't modify the table. But anyway, table.freeze, and then we're gonna have new equals function, and we're gonna have name. So now we're gonna make it so that you can only create parts. So if name equals part, then return, or we're gonna return instance.new part. Now, if you notice right here, there might be, well, you might not notice because this is a very new module, so people might not understand how it works. But basically, with these aliases, you want to make sure you always wrap instances, and the way you do this is you do module.wrap, and then you wrap it. So let's just put name here so that we can put other stuff if we really want. But anyway, the reason you want to wrap it is because if you return a real instance, then they can use the class hierarchy like parent or get children to escape the wrapper. You don't want that to happen, because the moment that happens, the wrapper becomes useless. You want to always wrap every single instance that you give the users. That way they can't access everything. But anyway, we're going to try this, and it's not going to work the first time because, well, I'll show you what happens. So, because we haven't defined it yet, it will make it, but you won't be able to do much with it. So, like, let's say instance new part. You know what, let me use different quotations so that it isn't so ugly. Local part equals instance.new part, and then part.parent equals workspace. It will make it, but it's not going to actually, it won't even wrap it. No, it's not even going to make it. Look. So attempt to index nil with new. Oh, I forgot to define it in the environment. So what we need to do in the environment is we just do instance equals alias, and then now it's defined in the environment, but it's still going to fail to wrap the instance because we haven't defined it. But anyway, so let me show you an example of a class inheritance. So we're gonna put in a module. We're gonna call this module base part. Now we're gonna make this module have, let's say, properties equals parent, let's say size and name and all that stuff, then we're going to make another one. We're going to make another module, and we're going to name this module part. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do module.inherits from, and we're going to do base part. Now what we're going to do, we're going to run, and if you look, it's going to work. It worked. Look, there's the part, even though it's hidden under the spawn. Now what just happened is it inherited the defined properties from the base part class. So we can basically just rewrite the entire Roblox class hierarchy this way, and that's basically what I did on my game VirtualBlocks. Is I basically emulate everything. But anyway, we're gonna start talking about the methods. So let's say we want to have a method that we want to call. So module.methods equals, and this is just like properties. We're gonna do destroy, or like get full name. So all that you gotta do is that. And this also, just like properties, this will automatically wrap. So everything that's returned from this method and everything that's passed into this method will be wrapped and unwrapped whenever that needs to be. So you can rely on this pretty much entirely, unless keep this in mind, if the methods start requiring like callbacks, you're gonna probably want to make your own custom method for that, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But anyway, we're gonna make this part, and then we're gonna define weight equals raw, and we're gonna wait like 2 seconds, and then we're going to part destroy. So if we run, here's the part. Oh shit, wait, class name is not, oh, I forgot. Class name is not a valid member of part. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on, let me figure this out. Okay, so basically I just I modified the VLua interpreter a bit, so it's looking for class name, but it doesn't have it because we didn't define it yet, so it's gonna break. But anyway, then now I just added it to base part. So now whenever we run, as you can see, whenever we whenever it runs, so the part, did you see that? The part just destroyed. It waited 2 seconds and then the part was destroyed. So that's how you use methods. But if, let's say that we want our own custom method, well, that's really, really easy to do. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of this. we're gonna get rid of this so it doesn't destroy, and then we're gonna do part change color. Now in real Roblox this isn't even a method at all. This doesn't exist, but we can make it. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna type module.custom methods equals, and we're gonna put a table. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna type change color, and we're gonna do a function, and in that function we're gonna pass in a variable called t, and this t variable is this is the wrapped object. So basically the way this module, the way that RBXLuaJailer works is it wraps every Roblox instance in a user data with a metatable, or a table with a metatable. You can actually decide which data type you want to use in the settings here. So like if we go to settings here, this will I already explained what all these are in here, but let's see, wrapper data type. By default, it's table. Now, the table is fine, but if you're gonna want to give users access to making metatables of their own, you're gonna want to put in here. You're gonna want to put. Actually, you know what? No, let's not change this default one. We're gonna go in here, and we're going to change. We're gonna make our own settings. So let's insert a module and call it settings. Return. We're gonna do wrapper data type equals user data. Now it uses new proxy to make the wrapper. It's a lot more secure to use user data, basically, instead of table, because tables can be modified, but user data cannot. They're called proxies because you can hide things behind them. So anyway, we've done that. So now what we're gonna do is there's these secret methods that I have on each of these wrapped objects, and don't worry, whenever this is passed in, I already automatically check to make sure that it's one of the wrapped instances and it has the same class, the same inherited class. So you don't have to worry about somebody passing something into here that isn't supposed to be in here. But basically, if you want to get the instance, you do local instance equals t.get wrapper object. Now, what you want to pass into this is a script instance. Now, the way that this works is, in theory, if you're using this module correctly, the user will never have access to a real instance. So, the way you can verify that you're actually executing system code that isn't supposed to be changed is you pass in a script instance, and it uses that script instance to verify that you have access to real instances, if that makes any sense. So basically, it's like you don't have to worry about this script being used, because it isn't. All that it does is it just checks the type of it to make sure that you actually have access to real instances. So that's how you do that. That's how you get the instance. And if you want to get the wrapper table, which it's based on, you get t.get wrapper table, and then you pass in a script instance. It's the same thing. You can pass in any script instance, so you can pass in a module script, or you can pass in a normal script or a local script. Any script is fine. Just make sure it's a script and it's an instance. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to understand. But anyway, now we're going to do inst.brickColor equals brickColor.random, or not random. There we go. And now whenever we you know what, let's make it constantly change. So while I'll wait one do part that change color end, and we're gonna run. Let's hope that there's no errors. Now let's get rid of this spawn so that you can actually see it. And there you go, look at that, it's changing the color, even though we don't have access to brick colors yet, or we don't have access to the brick color property either. So that's how you make custom methods. Now you can also make custom events, and you can also make custom properties. So let's see. Let's say that we want to make a custom property. So module.custom properties equals, and then we're gonna say that we want let's say we want to add a custom, let's say we had a second name, so second name, and now we're gonna have another table. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have read equals function, and we're gonna have the table, or the wrapped object, and we're gonna have write equals function t, and this will, and if you don't have a write function, or if you don't have a read function, that will set it to read only or write only, depending on what you don't have. So if you don't have the write, then you can't write to it, and it's read only. We also have type, and we can just set this to string, and that will verify if it's a string or not. Oh yeah, also you need to put in value here so that you can write. So let's say okay, so we're gonna get the instance. I don't think I, oh yeah I did. Okay, instance, and we're gonna return also, whenever you return from in one of these custom methods or stuff, these aren't like sometimes these are like aliases, but depending on your settings, sometimes it will auto wrap custom members. So what that means is it will wrap the return values of custom methods and stuff, and you want that to always, you pretty much always, unless you absolutely know what you're doing, you always want this to be true, because it prevents accidents from happening, basically. Because if you return a real instance, it will automatically wrap it for you. So anyway, we're gonna return inst get let's see, get attribute second name, and or we're just gonna have no, empty string if it doesn't exist. Actually, you know what? Let me make this really let me make this really tight, error catchy or whatever. I don't know how to say that. Whatever. I don't know. Okay. We're gonna attribute equals get second name equal. Okay, and then type attribute equals string and attribute or empty string. And now we're gonna do the same thing, basically do the same thing here, except we're gonna set fucking Christ, I can't type, attribute second name value, and right here we don't actually need the type check here, because we've already got this type argument, I guess, and it has string, so this will automatically type check for you. But if you were to put something like any, if you put the word any, then it will just ignore that, or if you just get rid of it, you can pass any value into there. And also there is a difference. If you put instance, then it can be either an instance or nil, because with normal Roblox properties you can often set the instance values to nil. So that's just a little quirk. But anyway, now we're gonna go to the script, and I'm gonna do part second name equals hello, and then we're gonna print part second name, and then look at that, hello, it says hello. And if we go to the part, wherever the hell it went, I think it fell through the base plate. I can't find where the part went. Oh, I didn't put it in the workspace. Okay. Part.parent equals workspace. And there we go. Okay. So now if you goes down and look at the attributes, look at that. We've got our second name attribute, and it behaves like it's a property, because you can add your own custom properties and stuff, which is very useful for customization, engine customization. And this is basically how I emulated the Roblox core script API. Is I literally remade the Roblox security methods and properties and stuff. Alright, so now let's talk about the default aliases that come with the module. These are automatically, these are basically prepackaged aliases that are already secure, so that you can use, so you don't have to write everything. Basically, I'll be updating this every now and then to include more stuff that you can use. But anyway, let's go, and we're gonna put like type of equals default. Now, what this will do is it will use the default alias that is in the default folder of the module. So if we go to aliases and then we go to type of, it will do the module type of. If now I'm gonna show you this. So we're gonna go to here and we're gonna do print type of part, and if it works correctly, which it should, it's gonna print instance. Now this is what this is doing is it's actually verifying that this is a wrapped thing, a wrapped object, and it's going to print instance. So in reality, what we just passed into it is not an instance. It's actually a user data, or a table if you define it to be table, like right here. Right? If it's default, then it's table, but if you actually change it, it becomes user data. Oh, yeah, but whatever. Anyway, to prove this, I'm gonna break the rules for a little bit. I'm gonna make it so that you can access the shared tape, the raw shared table. Now this is very bad. Do not do this. This is bad, because if you do this, then it will not only give them access to all script shared tables, but it will also, because the module uses shared, they'll be able to actually access instances that are being cached to reduce the amount of times that it has to be wrapped. So don't do this. But I'm just gonna show you. We're gonna make a second script here. It's script second script, and we're going to wait and we're gonna print shared. And now then we're going to go to this script, and we're going to make this part, and we're going to put the part in the shared table. So we're going to say shared table part, shared.part equals part. And so now in this second script, we're gonna actually, instead of just printing shared, we're gonna print type of shared.part, and I'm gonna prove to you that this is not a real instance. So look, if we run and we wait, user data, you see that? That's it's a user data. It's not actually an instance. So this default type of, it's actually being very deceptive, and it's basically lying to the user that it's an instance. But that's a good thing, because it means that you can basically you can give users access give users access to instances without giving them access to instances, and you can secure your game that way. Let's actually I'm going to print the entire shared table so that you can get an idea of how this module is caching things. So we're going to run and look at, okay, so we're going to look. So we've got jailed storage and jailed shared, and we've got the part that we just did. Now, because it's a meta table, it will look like it's a part, but anyway. So we've got basic config. There's our jailed shared, and that's this is the table that it will give the scripts if you were to put like shared equals default. Because I've already made a secure shared, and it basically puts a table in the real shared and then pretends that that table is the shared. So, but anyway, this is the important part: jailed jailed storage, and then we've got our basic config, and now we've got event wrappers, events, functions, instances. We've got our part here, and basically it has the real instance pointing to the wrapper, the wrapped object, and that makes it so that it doesn't have to wrap it multiple times, so it can just access it again. But if you don't use it again, if you don't use it again, then it will actually it'll automatically destroy it'll remove it from the table, because the table, the instances table right here, it has weak references. It uses a meta table itself called and it has the KV mode, which means that both the keys and the values are weak references. So if we were to not put this part anywhere, and just make it and just forget about it, then the garbage collector will actually get rid of it, and it's gone from the instances table. See, there's automatic garbage collection, so you don't have to worry too much about memory management. But anyway, we've got the part, we've got the schemas here. And this is basically what is returned whenever you do the get wrapper table method, or function, whatever you want to call it. And if we look in dictionary, we've got all the stuff that we made, all the stuff we whitelisted. So we've got change color, and we've got the type, and it's a function, and then we've got name. Type 1, these are just like types of what kind of member it is. So like name is 1, I'm pretty sure that means property, and then 7, I'm sure that means custom method or method. Now let's see. Oh yeah, also, I made it so that you can cache custom methods just like you would be able to with normal methods. So let's say that we want to let's say we have the spawn location module, spawn location, and we're gonna inherit from base part. Now let's go here to the part, and we're gonna take this custom method we made and move it to base part. So then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our script here, and we're going to use this part to cache the change color module, change color method. So we're going to do change color equals part dot change color. So now what we can do is we can do change color workspace dot spawn. I think it's called spawn. Spawn location. And then we're gonna run, and as you can see, it worked. It used the same method as the other one, because they're both base parts. But if we were to try to change the color of the workspace, which should not work at all, let me go show you what happens if you do that. If we change color of the workspace, then class name is not a valid member of workspace. Okay, I have to fix that too. This is a very new module, by the way. Well, it's still unfinished, but let's put in class name into the workspace. And now expected colon, not period, when calling function change color. And this is what we would say this is what it would normally say with a method of an instance on Roblox. Basically, if it doesn't inherit from the same class, then it assumes that you're not using the method correctly, so it says this. Now this module uses VLua. It uses VLua, and some people don't like that. Some people want to be able to use LuaU, which is Roblox's native, well, it's Roblox's custom scripting language. So I'm gonna go get the VLuaU module, and I'll show you how to install it into the module. Alright, I've just gotten VLuaU, and so now we've got it, and let's say we're gonna, okay, so let's see, I don't know exactly how to use VLuaU, but VLuaU execute source. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a module, and we're going to, okay, alright, I know what to do now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put in a module to the config called plugins, and now return, and we're going to put in, if I'm not wrong, let me check. Okay, I just checked. Yeah, we put in Lua interpreter, and we're gonna set this to be script dot interpreter. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna, so basically this points to a module script, and it will require it automatically. God damn it! It just showed my fucking files. Whatever, I don't care. Anyway, we're gonna insert module, and we're gonna call this interpreter, and now return function source environment. So what you need to do is it needs to return a function that has the first argument as the source code and the second as the environment. So now, okay, let me find VLuaU. I'm going to put this under here, and we're going to require, okay, local interpreter equals require script.VLuaU, and then we're going to let me look at VLU again. Call. Oh wait, yeah, you can just do call. All right. So we just straight up just interpreter source environment, and if we really want, we can return. So yeah, okay. So oh wait, self. Okay, whatever. That's alright. Yeah, that makes sense. So now we're gonna run once we, okay, alright. So we run, and if I did it correctly, expected, alright, it works. Look at that. So now we're using the VLuaU interpreter instead of the VLua. I can't speak. If instead of using VLua, we're using VLuaU. So now we can I think we can do function test and then put like part, and then the type of the part, which is instance. But I don't know if that works correctly because, yeah, whatever. Anyway, and okay, and then print part name. Now this might not work. I don't know if it'll work or not. That did not work. Oh wait, I didn't call it. Okay, it compiled. That's good. It compiled. Print part, or no, not print part. We're gonna do test part. Let's see. Part. Look at that. It worked. So now we got VLua syntax, or we got LuaU syntax, which is very good. Now I'll talk about something I should have talked about already. Basically, automatically it will wrap children of instances. So if you do workspace.spawn location .name equals hello, then it will automatically wrap it, and I'll prove that it automatically wraps it. So like, let's say we wanted to do team color, print team color. If we do this, it's not going to work. See, team color is not a valid member of spawn location, even though it really is. If we go look, team color. So as you can see, it automatically wraps instances of it automatic whenever you do use the dot, like the dot to reference children of instances. It will automatically wrap them for you, and this is basically this makes it very, very easy to use. It will automatically keep your game secure, but meanwhile you can whitelist all the things that you want the game to use, and all the stuff you don't want the user to be able to access. Let me show off one more setting, and then that's going to be the end of this video for now. But I will be making the module open source for you guys to use and test out, and yeah, all that stuff. But anyway, we've got custom type prefix, custom class attribute, whitelist tag. So if you look in the default settings, whitelisted tag is nil, and that means that there is no whitelist tag. But if we want, we can set a whitelisted tag. So let's say we want whitelisted tag equals whitelisted. What this will do is it will make it so that if there's an instance that doesn't have this tag, then it will not wrap it. It will not let the user access it. So whenever we run attempt to index nil with spawn location, that's because the workspace isn't whitelisted. It doesn't have the whitelisted tag. So if we go and we add the tag whitelisted to the workspace, whitelisted, and then we add it to this actually no, let's just do that. If we run and attempt to index nil with team color, you see it actually wrapped the workspace this time. But if we do tag whitelisted to the spawn location, and let's just change this to do like name or something, then it will actually work. So this is extra secure because this means that only the things that you give the user access to will be able to be accessed. It's just an extra layer of security. Now, you might remember in the beginning of this video I mentioned that you can actually use real load string with this module. So the way that you do this is we go to the settings, use load string if available. We're going to copy this and we're going to put it in here. We're going to put true. Now, unfortunately, real load string only works on the server side. But anyway, we're going to enable load string. And now, let me make an error to prove that this is actually working. So team color. Now, if we run, we have a real load string, and it actually wraps it and works just like it works with the interpreter. So you can actually run real load string LuaU, and it's really fast, but it's also going to be secure. And this works for just about anything that you can wrap. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. This is just an introduction to the module. Now there's a lot of deprecated stuff, like I said, but if you guys just look through the RBXLuaJailer code, then you will begin to understand how it kind of works. And I think that it's a very useful, very useful module. To be honest, I think that this will help a lot of people, because Roblox has this problem where you can't really give players access to code, because then they can just break the entire game. But this module, it will hopefully make it so that you can, and it doesn't, and it won't be dangerous. But anyway, that's it for this module. I hope you guys think that it's useful, and I hope you guys test it out for yourself. And also leave a comment on this video if you have anything to add, or any ideas or stuff. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you. I realized after recording that I actually didn't talk about the how to use the permissions and all that stuff of the module. So right here where we made change color, what we would want to do is, if we want to make it so that only scripts that have access to the Roblox script permission can execute this, what we want to do is we do if wtable.module, and this references the module that we created to wrap things with. Then we're going to do permissions Roblox script, and actually let's put if not, because if it's true, or I can't stop stuttering, sorry. If it's true, then that means that it has the permission, but let's say that it doesn't have it, then we're gonna do error Roblox script permission missing. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a second script. Well, let's take one of these, and let's say change color, and then get rid of the print. We're gonna duplicate this script, and inside of it we're gonna remove the Roblox script permission. And now this is using the same configuration, but let's name it. You gotta make sure you name it something else, or else it will just reuse the old config. So make sure you do that. But anyway, now it doesn't have that permission. So let's run. And if you look, Roblox script permission missing, and it's originating from that script list script that I just made. So that's how you use the module. And yeah, so that's pretty much just a little extra thing I added. I needed to add to the video. But oh yeah, also one more thing. If you want to wrap something, you actually don't have to use this execute. You can just wrap things. So like, we can technically just actually use this script. So if we want, it could do part equals, or let's actually use the new script that we made. Let's get rid of this, and then we're gonna do local part equals wrapper.wrap. We're gonna do wrap, and we're gonna do workspace dot spawn location. And now what we can do is we can literally just type part change color in the actual script, and it should work. So let me comment out the old one. Let's comment this so that it doesn't run. And then if we run, and let's change the name too. Name equals hello. But then let's try to do something that it doesn't have. Like let's try to change the team color. Team color equals brick color dot new dot red. Let's just do red. So now team color is not a member of it. So look, it's using the wrapper from a real script. You don't actually have to execute strings. You can literally just wrap things and then use them inside of your own script, which is very useful. But anyway, that's just this little thing that I forgot to add. But yeah,